Alright, welcome back, guys, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today we'll be doing my comic review of a new Image comic, Oblivion Song by Robert Kirkman. Now, if that's something you're interested in, something you want to know my thoughts on, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon that way you don't miss any future reviews on Oblivion Song moving forward. Now, let's begin. We open up this book and you got these two people running away from this creature in the Oblivion, and we get a couple panels of these people running away, and we see Nathan Cole appear and he fights off the creature and rescues these people. And right away, I like how they had the openings, a lot of action, a lot of good stuff going on, just not like people sitting around talking, or just stuff where it's action and it draws you right in right away. And another thing I want to talk about is the artwork by Lorenzo De Felici. I think the artist did a great job with the artwork. I think makes the atmosphere look so amazing of the Oblivion. And right away I'm gonna compare this to The Realm, because I feel like the concepts of the book of both books are so closely related, but I think the artwork is done in a way where you can easily differentiate each book and have it be its own separate entity. But I do think that due to the fact that The Realm was recently put out by Image, both these books, I don't know, it could just be me, but I feel like they kind of have similar concepts and they're just kind of more in this less the same kind of book. I don't really care. It's not going to take me out of it. I just think, I don't know, I'm curious as to which one was thought up first. Probably, I think I heard Kirkman's been working on this book for a while, so I guess maybe you could say The Realm is a copy of this book, but I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter to me. But I think right away the artwork by Lorenzo De Felici is amazing and has definitely differentiated this book from other books by Image and other books out there on the market. Then Nathan returns to the regular world with these two people, where his like little companion people who stay behind, Bridget and Duncan, are examining the people and trying to like calm them down because they're a little disorientated. They've been in the Oblivion for, I think it's like 10 years they've been there. And Duncan ends up getting scratched, and they are a little worried because they don't know like what the side effects are, or if there would be any side effects from that happening. So they bring them back, and they bring them to like, the kind of place where they are processed and printed to figure out who these people are, and they get their IDs taken care of and to figure out who they are. And Duncan is, looked at to make sure he's okay. And I really like how they show this kind of process of how they bring them in. They're just not like brought back in and allowed to reassimilate to society. They have to go through like a process, make sure they're healthy, nothing like illnesses that they brought back. I think that's such an important thing to put in the story, and not just make it look like, oh, they come back and they're allowed to be just reassimilate into society like nothing happened. I like how they added that little thing in there because I think it just makes it more realistic and adds some more realism to the overall story. Then we see this little like memorial wall to the people who were lost in the Oblivion, and I really like how they have that. And I think, I don't know, right away I had to draw a comparison to the little wall that's outside the Commonwealth and the New Community in The Walking Dead, and you can obviously tell that Kirkman has worked on both these books. And I like how they add this in because it's kind of like people who, like, when you lose people, you want to have faith and have memories to these people and just honor these people that were lost or who are coming back. Then you can say that they came back and get rid of their names off the wall. And I like how you have Nathan, who every time he brings someone back, he scratches the name off the wall. And I also like how they added in this person preaching outside how the Oblivion was God's will, and these people who are coming back are sinners and they shouldn't be allowed to be brought back because they're like the devil and this is the demon's work. And I really like how they add that in because realistically in the real world you'd have these people that think like this, that this is God's will, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be messing with the natural order of things. And I like how to add that in again because it adds more realism to the story. And again, I just like the idea of having like a memorial wall to people who were lost in the Oblivion. I think it's such a good idea, and something that would actually realistically happen if this was ever to, God forbid, if it really ever did happen, even though it probably wouldn't. You see Nathan Cole at this bar, I think it is, and he's talking to this guy, and they get into this kind of little, I don't know if you call it an argument or just a discussion about him going into the Oblivion and how, he's not really looking, he's actually looking for someone in particular. And I find out that he's looking for his brother who was lost in the Oblivion. And the reason he's doing these missions is, yes, he's looking for these people, but he's also trying to look for his brother that he lost to the Oblivion. And I really like how they added that in. You kind of got that little conflict there of, is he doing this to save other people? To an extent, I'd say yes, but he's also doing this for his own selfish kind of reasons to find his brother who was lost into oblivion. And I like how they add that kind of thing in there where it's like you question whether he's doing this for selfish reasons or if he's actually doing it to help people. I think he's doing it for 50-50. I think it's probably, yes, he's doing it for selfish reasons to find his brother, but he's also trying to find these people that were lost in the oblivion at the same time. I think his brother probably is a little bit more priority over other people, but I think to an extent both of these things are working intertwined, and he's doing both to try to help people and to find his brother at the same time. Then we got Cole going to meet with his love interest or girlfriend, Heather. I'm not sure what their relationship status is, nor do I really care. But she's working with the government, and they go in for this meeting with this government official, and they don't want to fund his agenda anymore to go into the oblivion and find more people. Before he found these people this time, he hadn't found people in a long time, and they just kind of see it as a waste of money and a waste of resources, and they just don't see the point in funding his personal crusade, as they call it. And as you can imagine, Cole doesn't like this because he wants to find his brother that is lost in the oblivion, and they end up pulling their funding because they don't see the purpose in it. And I really like how they have that in the story because, again, it adds more realism to the story. It just makes it feel more realistic that something like this would happen, that if they're not finding more people, then what's the point in this anymore? We should just get rid of it and pull the funding. So I really like how they added it in. Adds more realism. Like I said, I really like how they keep adding on more realistic things in the story that just keep going on and keep pushing the story more interesting, more exciting. Get some more scenes with Bridget and Duncan, and I really like how they're kind of building these two characters as kind of backgrounds, kind of side characters to just have more interesting characters in the story. I really like that. And we learned that Duncan was in the oblivion, and Cole, I guess, rescued him, and he's kind of suffering and a little bit traumatized from his time in the oblivion. And I really like how they have that kind of storyline in there because it, again, adds more realism. This person, you'd imagine you'd want to have someone on Nathan's team that was in the oblivion, and then adds more realism in the fact that he's traumatized from being in the oblivion. It's such a good thing to add in. I think all in all, Kirkman, again, hit a slam dunk right away. I know a lot of people are saying this is going to be this is the new Walking Dead, next Walking Dead. I think it's a little bit too early to see it. I think there's definitely potential, but I don't see it as being the next Walking Dead yet. I think we need to, at least, for me at least, get maybe a couple more issues in, maybe a full volume or a couple volumes under its belt before I could look at it and say, would this make a good TV show? Could it be the next Walking Dead? Then once we get there, I'll let you know if I think it could be the next Walking Dead. But I think it's definitely off to a good start. Good characters, good interesting stories so far. I think right away it's definitely hit the ground running, especially with its first issue. We see Cole preparing to go back into the Oblivion, and he's talking with Duncan, and we find out why the title of the book is Oblivion Song. And Duncan says, well, he spent time in the Oblivion being trapped there. The breeze and the creatures and the insect all kind of combined their noises into some kind of harmony that created this ominous song. And I like how Cole's you want to record it and bring it back for you. And I just really like how I had that kind of interaction there because I don't know, it just came off as something interesting there. And you have Cole going back to the Oblivion, and I really like the atmospheric look to the Oblivion. And we see that he's actually being watched by survivors in the Oblivion, and they're wondering what he's doing, what's going on. And we realize through dialogue from them and their leader that the Crenshaws who Nathan saved in the beginning of the story got brought back on purpose. They wanted to be brought back. So I'm wondering if they were brought back to the real world as a way of gathering intel from what's going on in the real world and then reporting back to these people. I wonder if it's going to be something like that. And I like how when they turn to their waiter, they refer to him as Ed, which is Cole's brother's name, and I really so it's revealed that this guy is Ed is Cole's brother, and I really like how I had that twist. I did not see that coming, and it already pulled me in. And he mentions how the Crenshaw plan is failing. They didn't do what they're supposed to do, and it's time that they meet up with Cole and they plan to set a trap for him. So already I'm very dragged into the story. I'm very interested to see where it goes from here, with Ed being the leader of this group. And I love how these people in the Oblivion look, with the kind of vegetation on them. They look like they've been surviving here for a very long time, and they look like a bit of an organized group. So I'm very interested to see how it plays out. Again, a little bit too early for me to decide whether I think this is going to be like the next Walking Dead or something, but I think it definitely has potential. And I already am excited to see where it goes from here, and I'm definitely intrigued to read the next issue when it comes out. So, yeah guys, that's our review of Oblivion Song, issue number 1. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and share. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell icon, that way you don't miss any future reviews on Oblivion Song or any other comic content I put out on my channel. This has been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I will see you next time.